Hello, I'm Angie from Mindfulness UK, and I'm going to talk you through how to do your practice logs, which are part of the CMR TtT Train the Trainer portfolio tasks. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's get these practice logs open. So the practice logs refer to the practices that you are going to be teaching and have been taught as part of the CMR program. So they're the 10-minute practices are affectionate breathing, compassionate mindful movement, and compassionate body scan, and all of the other CMR program techniques, strategies, and or short practices such as stop, such as self-soothing gestures, just to name a couple to give you the idea. And what we want you to do is, it says here, is log a minimum of half an hour per day, 5 times a week for 4 weeks. So these practice logs, you open up and they're within the portal of resources, and I would download them onto your device and save them as your name and CMRTtT practice logs. And this is one of the tasks within your portfolio task list. I then put your name on it, and these are 4 weeks worth of tasks. So if you scroll down, you'll see that there's week 1 and there's also week 2, week 3, week 4. And you put the date that you're starting, and you choose when you're going to do this 4-week window of practices. Of course, you're practicing all the time, but you are selecting a 4-week window and you're focusing specifically on CMR practices. So there's a lot of spaces here, and we are not asking you to complete them all because that would take you a long time. These are the time that you're practicing, so you can notice patterns. So, 7 a.m. or 6 p.m., whatever, is really important because sometimes you notice patterns and they're to do with the time of day that you are practicing. The duration, so if it's a 10-minute practice, probably in there. If it's a stop and you did it for 30 seconds, it goes in. Or if you did it a longer stop for 5 minutes, that's what you put in. The practice or the technique, the strategy, doesn't matter. So these 3 columns need to be filled in because they are what what is evidencing that you have completed your practice for 4 weeks. Okay, it's a minimum of half an hour a day. So that you don't need to do 3 long practices a day. You could do a mixture. So maybe you do affectionate breathing, and then you do a stop and a self-soothing, and a compassionate break, or whatever it is, as long as it totals to sort of half an hour a day on average, that's great. So you're going to be filling in your time. So it could be 7 a.m., your duration, it could be the 10-minute practice. And the practice, let's just say it's affectionate breathing, and so on. So you will make this, you'll be able to amend this and make it, work for you. And you can also, as you tap into it, it creates more space. Let's do that. So it's an easy document to use, and just move that along. Okay, so we don't want you to fill in all of these, but what we want you to do in any one week is make sure that all of these 3 are filled in. And then as you reflect using these headings, maybe there's one that really stands out to you in each column. So it would be peppered, it would be sort of popcorned. So it could be that one of the strengths is, a stop practice this week, and you really notice something. So you'd put something in here, and then later on you might do a self-soothing. In there, you'd fill in these other bits as well. And your personal motivating factors might be, that you really felt you were really feeling activated, and you've done the practice in the class, and you really thought, oh, I'm going to do a self-soothing gestures. Yeah, and so on. And there could be a personal barrier to practice here. Like I really, I had a real resistance to it, or there was noise outside. It was an external environment, something like that. You could notice here that the stop really helped you. And so further development could be to put an alarm on your phone or to do stop a lot more or use the little laminated card or something like that. The incorporation of 8 attitudes that could be, well, we won't go over them because you've learnt them in the course, but say there might be an element of trust. So you might trust that, the self-soothing gestures that you need will come to mind as you embody the practice. Because sometimes we can't remember what we learnt in a session. What was it? But if you just trust our bodies to let us know what they need. So it could be something like that. What were the physical responses? What were the mental responses? How were you feeling? And then one habit breaker for the week. That's all. So it could be something, and it's to do with your practice. It could be something like laying down instead of sitting or going outside instead of inside. It could be that your practice here was mindfully drinking a cup of tea, and you had it in a different cup. So it's up to you. Everybody's is going to look different. But what they will all have in summary is these 3 columns filled in, and then a kind of at least one reflection under each of these headings every week. So there's going to be blanks in it, and that's okay, because if you want to fill them all in, that's absolutely fine. But what we're expecting and what we would like you to submit is an overall reflection under these headings of your practice, which is half an hour a day, 5 times per week, and is made up of the 10-minute practices and anything else that you're doing that you've learnt on the CMR program. So they're all going to look different. And then you're going to save it, of course, remember to save it. And then it's going to be part of your portfolio. So following the portfolio tasks, and if you save things as you go along, then by the end of the CMR TtT pathway, you'll have everything you need all ready to submit. All right, thank you. Enjoy.